This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN, fresh from the sauna that is Lion Boxing Club.
I have done at least 4 or 5 pounds down there. I'm sweating. We've come upstairs to a cooler room and it's now dropped to 100 degrees. So, yeah, brilliant night, as you saw, down at Lion Boxing Club. And definitely, I'll be honest, I think even from a selfish point of view, this is, what's the word the younger kids use? Is wholesome. Wholesome. Makes me feel extremely wholesome, these community events.
Yeah. I want to break this night into 3 little bits. So the first bit is one of the most eventful 3 minutes you've probably ever had just stepping out of your car. It was like a scene from Snatch. I got asked for £1 from little Patrick and I thought, he's going to do something to Ed's car.
My car is 1 still there or 2 keyed?
Keyed.
Yeah.
And then he said Anthony Joshua's a bum and he gets beaten by Tyson Fury. And you hadn't even stepped through the doors at that point.
I get that most days. Not always with that view, but I've been away for 4 weeks. Mixture of, obviously, all the events, little holiday as well. And, I think everyone knows the size of Fury against AJ, but it's always the main topic of conversation. I think the first thing I did when I got back was go to the petrol station, fill up my car. As I was filling up my car, some geezer just drives straight past, literally screeches the brakes on. Oi, when's AJ fighting Fury? It's like, welcome back to the UK. Do you know what I mean? So,
how long have you had that for, though? It must be 7, 8,
5,
9
6,
years.
7 years. One day it'll be nice to put it to rest, but it shows you the size of the fight. And I was actually speaking to Spencer Brown today about various bits, and we were talking about. I think there was an old interview that came out that said Fury was going to pack it in, and the feeling that I get from Spencer and the team is that they want that AJ fight. Like there's never been, and we know that if Riyadh season and Turki Alalshikh were around a couple of years ago, this fight would have got made in a nanosecond. But hopefully it can happen off the back of 2 wins, which is AJ, September 21st, and of course Tyson Fury against Usyk.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a sec, but I've got to go back to here and downstairs. Was it Zion? Little Zion,
Yeah,
5
yeah.
years old, nearly won the 2 tickets
Yeah.
for Joshua Dubois. Plank challenge. Shout out to
Yeah.
Zion, who is definitely going to be on the
Amazing.
Stomping Ground one
Yeah,
day as an
amazing.
Eddie Hearn signing.
Yeah. I think that, we do, as I'm sure people have seen, we do that plank challenge where everyone goes into a plank, and it's basically the last guy standing. And, with this one, we gave 2 tickets away for the AJ fight. And I think people, we know there's a lot of problems in the world right now, and there's a lot of problems in our country. But when you come in here, the problems don't really exist. And I think one of the problems that the younger, people who come from maybe a deprived background have is they don't quite have that family infrastructure. They don't have those role models. They don't have, the solid household to give them the support and the guidance that they need. But you find it in here, and you find it within your community and your family in the local boxing club. And I think that the role of coaches is so underplayed, not just in boxing, but actually all volunteers. Because we now live in an age where you imagine you said to a kid now, right, I need you to go and give your time up 5 or 6 till 9 p.m. every night for free. No one would do it. That's how much is that? What am I getting for that? Why do I have to do that? These guys are going down there, they're opening these doors and they're letting kids come off the streets in here, and they're giving them a focus, they're giving them a purpose, they're giving a little bit of an order or a regimented lifestyle for them to go and achieve. And you only have to speak to any pro fighter that, came through these doors, or any door of an amateur boxing club. We know what it does. And that's why I get so frustrated, because it's like solving crime and solving gang crime and solving knife crime. I'm not saying that a bigger investment into amateur boxing clubs will get rid of the problem, but there is absolutely no doubt it will help. No doubt. And it's not an expensive project. We're funding a lot of the project ourselves as a company. And by the way, I'm not looking for a round of applause. We should be doing that, because we have an obligation. This sport has given me everything. It's also been hugely successful for my company. And we have an obligation, like the coaches who are giving their free time, I have an obligation to support and help where I can. But so do the government, and so do the local council. So if you're the local council, if you're the Mayor of London, if you're the government, what you want to see these places close. Look at the Lynn. They told them, you're shut, you're done, you're finished. 40, 50, 60 kids a night off the streets in Peckham and around there, going through the club, giving them so much purpose in life and guiding them. Here, they were down to 3 carded members at the Lion. It's one of the most historic boxing clubs in the capital or even in the country. No one came down the local council and went, "Oh, guys, you in trouble? Oh, we must make sure we help you out." We had to help them out. It's fine. But,
Eddie, you want to say goodbye?
oh, mate. Listen, I'm just doing an interview here. Zion, what's your name? Kendrick. Come in, both of you, if you don't mind. Dad, is that right? Yeah. So, Zion, we were just talking about, first of all, Kendrick, you done brilliant as well. Yeah? Zion, you did like 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah? On the plank. You nearly won it. So the first thing I want you to do for the world is I want you to do, because you're Zion, I want you to do your roar, because you are a lion. Where's your roar? Okay. Right, very good. Now I want to tell you, I want you to tell the world, why did you last so long? And what was going through your mind when you were doing it? What?
I'm a lion.
Because you're a lion. But why did you do that when other 5-year-olds couldn't? What makes you different?
That the 5-year-old doesn't roar because their dad said they wasn't a lion, and but our dad said we were a lion.
Dad told you you're a lion. Yeah? Kendrick, why do you like coming down here?
Because it's fun and I enjoy boxing.
Yeah? And do you want to be a champion?
Yeah,
Yeah? And what do you think of your brother tonight?
he did amazing.
And how old are you, Kendrick?
9.
And what is your advice to any 9-year-olds out there that might be walking around, might be sitting on the bench up the corner? Why should they come down here?
Because boxing is good and you can find a way to protect yourself when you're going through harm.
Well, you two are my heroes. Kendrick, Zion, keep working hard.
Yeah.
Make sure you work as hard in school as you do in the plank competition. Promise? Right. See you soon, boys. They're going to send you some stuff, all right, from the office. I want to see you one day. Make sure you sign with me when you turn professional. Dad, you promise?
Yes.
Right. Thanks, Dad.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Well done. See you, Zion. Bye, mate. Take care.
And how apt after giving the little champ a shout out on here that he rolls in and does his little roar.
Amazing. But like, you know,
That just shows what you were talking about. Why these places need to keep their doors
and
open.
a lot, you know, for him, you know, you see the dad bringing the kids down. You know, but the problem is you need to almost recruit as well young kids to come down here. Like the Lynn, some of the clubs we went to, the one in I think it was Canning Town, they have a project where they actually go to the estates and they recruit kids, where they go out and say, guys, come down. You know, luckily for Kendrick and Zion, they've got a dad that brings him down here every week, you know? And you just know, like, you look at those kids and you know they're going places. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be all right. They're going to do well. And we've all got a responsibility to make sure that we can provide opportunities for the younger generation.
Yeah, what a brilliant night. Really enjoyable seeing all of that kind of unfold. Right, you mentioned Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Alexander Usyk done a brilliant interview with Mail Sport where he said he almost, I don't want to use the word wants to honour AJ, but he said that the trilogy really interests him because AJ gave him the shot when he didn't have to.
Yeah.
Of course, things need to happen. AJ needs to beat Daniel Dubois. Usyk would need to win again. But if that is the case, do you think we can almost wave goodbye to the possibility of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua ever sharing the ring?
I mean, look, firstly,
Because it takes us to, that's another 12 months in the calendar.
The dream has always been undisputed. Yeah, that has to be the dream, right? We were so close for so long, then it all fell away. And now we're really quite close again, and it's getting really excited. But first things first, the biggest priority, and I always look ahead, because that's my job. But, you know, I look ahead now and think September 21. That's really the focus. But if Usyk beats Fury, our attention is on Usyk. He's on the Undisputed Championship. And I'll be honest with you, normal people wouldn't have fought Alexander Usyk when they were Anthony Joshua. We had all the belts, right? We had everything. We had carte blanche. We were the biggest star in world boxing. And AJ said, he's my mandatory, I'm going to fight him. People said to me, I wouldn't take that fight if I was you. Who's Alexander Usyk? I tell you who he is, he's the mandatory. And you have an obligation to face him. And he boxed him. And he lost twice. First one, pretty comfortably. Second one, in a close fight with a great finish from Usyk. We'll get him next time. But it's all irrelevant without September 21. But we actually I was gonna message Alex Krasuk last night because it was 6 years yesterday that I met Alex Krasuk in a meeting in the Charles V Hotel in Paris, and we jotted down on a serviette a deal for Alexander Usyk that actually saw us promote about 4 or 5 fights with him, and it was a great time, great people, great fighter, and I would love to see AJ share the ring with him again.
Yeah, we'll bring on September the 21st, and like you said, I guess you can only look at that and then see what goes beyond. I know this is the first time we've spoke to you since LA. A bit of an emotional night for different parties and different reasons. How do you reflect on the whole LA Riyadh season?
Yeah, like, I thought the show was incredible. I thought the week was incredible.
Are you an Eminem fan, by the way?
Yeah.
You can't not be.
Always been an Eminem fan. And to see him, like, I walked up the runway and kind of like jibbed on the stage, and I was just like,
I love the way you say you have to jib.
Yeah, but I was just looking, going, like, I was starstruck, and the atmosphere, it was bouncing, wasn't it? It was just like, it was like a festival, and the card was unbelievable. Upsets, a very close main event that I felt could have gone the other way, but whatever, and just a brilliant night of boxing, and now of course the focus is. For us, August 31st, Diego Pacheco in Los Angeles. And then, of course, September the 14th, Canelo Berlanga. September 21, Joshua Dubois on a huge card at Wembley. September 28, Dalton Smith and Johnny Fisher as well in Sheffield. October 12th, Bivol Beterbiev. October 26th, Catterall against Program. I mean, it's like non-stop, never-ending, and, just tremendous times at the moment.
Yeah, heavy schedule. I don't think I'm going to be seeing much of my own bed for the remainder of the year. On Canelo Alvarez, I think the general consensus was that the Terence Crawford-Israel Madrimov fight kind of put dead in the water Canelo Alvarez. It seemed as if everyone pushed their interest or potential interest to the side and were like, no, we don't want that for Crawford. It's too much of elite, but 2 massive names, it will still be a mega fight. How do you kind of sit with Crawford?
I think people still probably don't give Israel Madrimov enough credit. I think he is the best 154-pounder in the world. Now, if you thought he lost the fight, I think he's the second best 154-pounder in the world. I think the weight's too much for Crawford, but I think it's irrelevant because it ain't happening. So we'll see what happens with Crawford. He's a very inactive fighter. He is getting on a bit. He's made a lot of money. What's the hunger levels like? Does he want to go through another division to become undisputed? Good luck to him if he does. He's a generational great, and but I do feel like the weight definitely at 168 would be too much.
Yeah, obviously Canelo's got Edgar Berlanga to deal with first in September. Canelo's fought so many top fighters so consistently, and there's so many different ways people have gone about it. You can be completely respectful. I know Caleb Plant tried a little bit and almost got made to look a little bit of a fool. Berlanga's gone straight in like, I'm not having it. No respect at all. But depending on how you play it with Canelo, do you think it really matters? Because it's obviously
really
about when you get in the ring.
No,
and what has he not seen? Like, he's seen everything.
The argument is, are you going to motivate him more in camp? Maybe. We saw it with Munguia, didn't we, with Oscar? I think that probably put the bit between his teeth a little bit. But I think you've also, if you're Edgar Berlanga, you kind of got an obligation, not just to the promotion, but like to fucking go out there and stick it on him. I mean, the last thing anyone wants to see is, oh, Canelo, thank you for the opportunity. I can't believe I'm sharing a ring with a great. Edgar respects him. He knows how great Canelo is, but he believes that he's going to win, and he's an underdog. But I'll tell you what, he's got big old cojones on him, and he'll have a right go. And it's a dangerous fight for Canelo Alvarez, and looking forward to it.
Do you think there's many a fighter who fought Canelo who have perhaps sat after fight week with their head in their hands and thought, I've played the respect game, and almost feel like a bit of a missed opportunity as such?
You know what? When Madrimov boxed Crawford, the last thing I said to him in the change room was, don't let this opportunity pass you by. You have to be active in the fight. You have to be competitive in the fight, because too many people go in there and like Oh, I'm fighting Terence Crawford. Oh, I'm fighting Canelo Alvarez. You got one shot, one opportunity. Do you take it or do you let it slip? And Eminem said that as well, Oscar. I don't know if you know, but that is the situation. And Edgar has got to make sure he doesn't go in there, look around, and go, "Oh my God, I'm fighting Canelo Alvarez." He sticks it on him, and he uses his skills and his power, and he walks away from that ring, whatever happens, proud of his performance and knowing he couldn't have done any more. And hopefully, it's enough for victory.
Yeah. Just one more from me on the Canelo and Turkey beef, as everyone's labelling it. Is it quite nice because when Turkey has flushed the money that he's flushed at fighters and at fights, things have happened and he's had everything, you would say, his own way, and obviously he's had to put a lot of work in behind the scenes, but quite publicly now he's got a bit of a challenge. So when everyone's friends, perhaps it's nice to see a little bit of butting heads, but obviously we want Canelo in the biggest fights possible.
There's loads of fights.
It's very public.
There's loads of fights that Turkey has wanted or tried to make happen that haven't, but this just happens to be a high-profile one. And this just happens to be someone who does what he wants, which is sell, and someone that's got his own plans and ideas, which is His Excellency. And I've said before, all His Excellency wants to do is make the biggest fights in the sport. And probably, like a lot of fans, gets frustrated that sometimes they can't happen. And he wanted to make Crawford against Canelo. He wants to make Benavidez against Canelo. But it's not possible at the moment. So, we strategise, we refocus, and we look at what fights can be made. But yeah, I think it was a little bit of frustration from His Excellency. So I don't know, why can't we talk about that? Now, come on, like the way that he does business, he's like, let's make it happen. And when
Because it pressures people into a decision, perhaps.
yeah, but when there's no opportunity to make it happen, I think the best way to describe His Excellency is he's a fight fan with a big budget. Do you know what I mean? And it's amazing that he starts out and it's like, this is the saviour of boxing. I've actually been in this position before, and after a while, I'm not sure about him. Yeah, no, he thinks he can get anything he wants. He does. Like, you can dislike me because I run a business. You can't really dislike His Excellency because all he wants to do is make the best fights for sport. So it makes me laugh sometimes when I read the comments. I'm like, poor geezer, all he's trying to do is make boxing great again,